So now all around logistic orders. Logistic orders is basically imagine a construction company who is building at different construction sites, and they need to have materials on those different construction sites either shipped or also, of course, often the case at construction site or construction companies is the pickup method, that the employees in the van take it with them, and therefore we have created the feature logistic orders, where you can basically request materials from the warehouse for your construction sites, for example, um, with either just your generic stock, your generic stock items, or project specific stock items. You can create those logistic orders from the job card with the planning lines, or you can simply, of course, create a new logistic order as a starting point as well. And with that, like I mentioned, you can call off the project related materials from the warehouse, and you can choose between the project specific or the generic stock you have. And you have an overview of all the logistic orders. So basically, and next to the normal page where you find all the picks, etc., warehouse employees who have a separate page with all the logistic orders, so they know these are the orders which will be picked up for the construction sites, for example. And of course, we have a simple overview for those warehouse workers, so they know what to pick for which product, for which construction site, for which van, regarding the pickup method, etc. And it's also good to know that for the rest of the picking, so the whole logic behind picking within Business Central, we are completely relying on the standard picking method in Business Central. Now I would love to share my screen to switch to my Business Central environment. So here we are in Business Central environment, and as you might know by now, as soon as Empowered has been enabled, you will find the Empowered module configuration, and within the Empowered module configuration you can enable or disable the features you like. And as you can see over here, in this case logistic orders has been enabled. Now then, of course, the first thing you would love to do is to go to the setup. So we go to logistic order setup, simply search for it. And there are a few things you need to set up. Of course, an obvious one is then that you need to have a number series for your logistic orders. But one thing, and you need to assign the project journals, the template and the batch, all kind of obvious. But one thing I would love to highlight over here is that we can work with cutoff times for next day preparation. So for example, if you on the different construction sites, you need to order materials from your warehouse and you want to have them next day, then for example, the order needs to be in before 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's then the cutoff time for next day preparation. So all logistic orders before the time will automatically be planned for shipment next day. All orders placed after 2 p.m. in the afternoon, for example, will then be placed 2 working days from that day on. Just a small small feature, but really beneficial if you work with shipments or pickups for project sites. Then as soon as you've of course finished the logistic order setup, you can start with those logistic orders. And for that, let me go first to the projects to show you. Here I have just an example project around furniture design office. And as you can see over here, you can work with a person responsible, a foreman code, often of course used in construction companies. You have the project manager still, and you can work with all those different construction sites, so that you have created for your specific projects. Then of course we have the project task lines. I've, for the sake of this demo, created just a very simple project task line. If I go to the project planning lines within this task line, you will see that I've created a project planning line with as a line type budget, and I've added the Paris chair in black with a quantity of 10. So basically I created a very simple project with just a budget line Paris chair black, quantity of 10. And then if I'm on the project card from here, you can create a logistic order. And as soon as you create the logistic order, then it will let you choose which of the project planning lines will be used. Now, of course, since I already have done that, let's go to the logistic order. For that, I will use search again. So we go to the logistic orders. Here you find that logistic order which has the status being released. So the logistic order, if I scroll down, of course, here you see on the logistic order all the same information from the project card. So all the construction site, person responsible, form, code, etc. Delivery method, like I mentioned already, you can choose between shipment and pickup. In this type of work, for the construction site company, in this company, imagine that we are using pickups. And then here you see that a logistic order has been created for the Paris chair black with a quantity of 10. And of course, it's a very simple feature. But imagine that the people in the warehouse do then have a specific overview for all the orders they need to finish before 2 p.m., for example, to put them ready in the warehouse on a specific location so that the employees with their vans can pick it up and use it next day on the construction site. So for example, if we then go to logistic order, we have the overview with the logistic orders to handle. And the one logistic order I just created from that project card regarding that 10 chairs, 10 Paris chair blacks, I've released that logistic order, and then you will find it on the logistic orders to handle. So of course, people in the warehouse, you could give them this page as a starting point to work on. So here you will find that specific logistic order with the delivery method pickup, and so that the people will know, okay, we need to finish this today to have it ready for next day. Once again, you can open it up for here, and then of course you will find those items. Of course, you can print then the pick instruction from here. Let me show you the preview. As you can see over here, slightly changed layout where you will find the project information, the name of the pickup, so the person who's responsible for the pickup of the items. So for example, the foreman, which is also, for example, the foreman on that specific van, is then responsible for these items to pick them up. That's basically how you can easily work with logistic orders in Empowered Business Central. So a minor enhancement basically to the project module where you can specifically, in this case as I demoed for construction site companies, you can create easily warehouse requests for generic or specific items for your construction site, which can then be put ready before for orders which have been landed before 2 p.m., for example, and will then be shipped next day. Let me go back to the presentation. So one sec. I will stop sharing my screen and share the presentation again. So I showed you logistic orders. Basically, in a nutshell, I showed you how you can create a logistic order from the project card, which then, of course, results in a request to the warehouse for the specific materials. In this case, it were just the Paris chair blacks, which are generic items. On the logistic orders page, you can, on the logistic orders to handle page, you will see all the released logistic orders. So those orders who have been placed, for example, before 2 p.m. So people know which one to pick, and for that they can also make use of the specific designed pick instruction, so people can see on the pick instruction for which person or for which van they need to place the items ready.